Okay.
Today's topic is the journey of a retired civil servant and what he's doing now. Hello, everyone. Good to be with you once again. Today, I have with me my older brother, Subhash, who retired as a very senior officer of the central government and has been doing very interesting things since then. He will talk in three parts. First, his journey from small town Rajasthan, where he was born, he was educated, then what he did in the civil service, what his work was like, and finally, most interesting, what he has been doing since retirement. So, okay, Subhash, let's go.
Okay. Thank you, Subodh. I'm so happy to be here on this platform and share my views with all the viewers. I hope I keep my dialogue simple and straight and interesting so that no one gets bored. So let me begin with my early journey from my birth to let us say birth to completing the education. I was born in a small town in Alwar. Then I lived in even a smaller town called Jhalawar, and then we came to Bikaner, Ajmer, and in between somewhere we lived in Udaipur, and then finally in Jaipur. I don't remember much of my schooling, but before I came to Bikaner. But once I came to Bikaner, I went probably to a Hindi medium school. But my academics, I don't remember. But I did a lot of plays and other things culturally, and I know that because I won many medals. And we did a one-act play called Jhitia, which is an adaptation of Red Riding Hood. That little girl who goes into the forest and meets a wolf. After that, we came to Ajmer, and that is where the things begin to get much interesting. I went to a Hindi medium government school called Government Ajmer School, and then when my father was transferred to Jaipur, I had a choice to go to a Hindi medium school known as Mahavir School, or to get admitted in St. Xavier's School, which was an English medium school and a prestigious school in Jaipur. I was very keen to go to Mahavir because it was simple for me to go to another Hindi medium school. But my mother, she didn't like the idea. She said, no, you will go to Xavier's even if they have rejected you. And her determination and her courage eventually landed me in Xavier's. I did land in Xavier's, but without knowing any English as such, neither spoken nor written. So naturally what happened was I failed. And it was a blessing in disguise. The failure led me to learn English quickly and to be up to the class. And within a year, I was one of the leading speakers in English in my class and writing articles, etc., on books, etc. So the journey from Hindi medium to English medium was traumatic, but I enjoyed it in the end. And then when I passed out from my schooling, after that I joined Rajasthan College in Jaipur. I did my BA honors from Rajasthan College, and then my MA in political science. But it was not a very smooth journey at all for my education. I never got very high marks, and I ended up what they call in India a high middle, a high medium, a high middle second class, which is something like 55%. But that never put me off because I was enjoying my college and my university through playing, playing swimming, cricket, and various other games. And when I reached the university, I became a well-known debater. So I passed out from the school, from college, from university, and then I aimed for civil services, which was my goal right from the beginning. I had seen my father as a civil servant, so it was my ambition to be a civil servant. And after doing my MA, I wrote my first exam, and I didn't qualify for the IELTS, but I qualified for Indian Revenue Service, which I joined on 4th November 1971. And that's my journey from birth until I joined the civil services.
Yeah, that's very good. And we have a write-up from Subhash on indiaofthe.past.org with the title Sala Main to Sahib Ban Gaya. So you can read that. It's his story. And it's a very good story because we all grew up in small town Rajasthan, but we are now international. So it shows that where you are born is no handicap to, and also it shows that you don't need to have great marks to be a great person. You can achieve a lot even if you don't focus too much on academics. So with that, Subhash, let's see what you did in the civil service.
And civil services also was a what you call a roller coaster times for me. I joined in 71 and immediately the Indo-Pakistan war was declared, and that was a very strange experience to join and not have lights in the evening. So, but anyway, we sailed through that. We did very well in the war, and we did well in the probation period. After that, I joined customs at Calcutta, where I was posted to a charge which no one liked, but became my talisman for all my life. And I learned the Indo-Nepal route trade, and I was a facilitator from Nepal to take their goods from Calcutta to Birganj or to some other place. So that posting alone pushed me to Directorate of Revenue Intelligence, where I became the focal point for Indo-Nepal relations. And I attended many conferences and foreign meetings with the Nepalese delegation. And I became what we call in our service expert on Nepal matters. And that reputation spread like a wildfire. And I was simply regarded as a good officer from then on. And then I had my posting in Jaipur, where I didn't get along with my collector. But nevertheless, I managed to come good all through. And once again, a milestone was when I did my 5 years of narcotics work, which is cultivation of opium and selling the opium and its derivatives to foreigners. So that also pushed me along a lot. And finally, I landed up in the National Academy of Customs, Excise, and Narcotics. And there I took many projects for which I became very popular, well known, and also simply because most of the officers were called to the academy for their training courses. And so I came to know almost the entire service uh, quite well, even at the lower level, inspectors and superintendents. So it was, in my opinion, the final milestone because collecting taxes is not a big deal. You don't have to do much. The taxes are given by the assessees by themselves. And finally, I ended up at Ahmedabad as chief commissioner. And I came to Delhi for a few months. And then finally, I retired in 2007 on 31st of August as chief commissioner, customs and central excise. And that's how the service, I had two high points. One was expert and focal point on Nepal, and then as an expert in training. And I went to Canada also to become a tutor or a trainer, fully equipped trainer. That's how I ended up my service in Indian Revenue Service.
Okay, good. Let's move on to what you are doing now because I think that's much more interesting than the service.
Yes. Yes, service, has its limitations. You can do all that you like, but it doesn't get recognized by the people. Outside your service, no one recognizes you. They only know you as an officer of the central government. So after retirement, the first thing I did was to make a holiday home for myself, which is about 40 kilometers from there. Having completed that, my alma mater, St. Xavier's Jaipur, I entered into the Old Boys Association and became a member, executive member there, and I worked for 5 years. And we did a lot of work for the Xavier's and this school, and we introduced many new projects. And that work was very satisfying to me because to go back to the school as an alumni and do work there. I ended that in 2016, and I started publishing a website called inourdays.org, in which we published small short stories written by various people, children, 5-year-old children as well as 90-year-old people. And we were finally able to collect around 300 stories. And along with that, many of my stories are on that website, and many of my stories, as Subodh said, are on indiaofthepast.org. So that was also, again, our post-retirement. It was free work, but it was very satisfying. Then thirdly, having exhausted my quota of friends who could write for me, I started I started going into training the civil servants, aspiring civil servants. And it happened by chance when on Quora I met a person who had written civil services many times, 6 times, had faced interviews 4 times, but still did not qualify.
Okay, I want to interrupt here. Quora.com is a website that Subhash writes on frequently. And Quora sends out what you write to a number of people. And once Quora sent his answer to 2 crore people. To 2 crore people, they sent his answer. So that is an achievement, I think, that is worth mentioning, because hardly anybody gets 2 crores people who get his answer in their inbox. And that is, I have hit a number that is below 2 crore, and I'm proud of it. So I'm really, really proud that Subhash's answer went to 2 crore people. That is something. So he's actually doing a hell of a service by writing his answers about the civil service, what to do, and so on for young people on Quora.com. It's unpaid work, it's free work, but it's very helpful because obviously nobody sends an answer to 2 crore people without thinking 100 times about it. Okay, sorry to interrupt, but let's go on.
No, it's a welcome interruption. After that, when I met my partner, Santosh Pandey, I pledged my support to him as a trainer, as a pro bono trainer for aspiring civil servants. And the 2 of us got together and we created a website. And we were very lucky to attract many people who came to us for training. And civil services exam is in 3 parts. There is a preliminary part, which eliminates many people. Then there is the mains, which is the toughest part of the exam. And then there is a personality test called interview. And so these 3 parts we took up all the challenges. But we did only the general topics. We didn't take up the optional subject. But we took up everything that had to be done. And we took classes pro bono, we did mentoring pro bono. We put up a lot of people for interview panel, and we have about 20 people on the interview panel. And we conduct interviews for civil servants, and now we have started conducting mock interviews for even forest service officers. So therefore,
who are the people you are helping? Who are these people? Why don't they attend the commercial classes?
No, commercial classes have a weakness, and that is they have no one-to-one relationship. They have no one-to-one relationship. And the people who joined us told us that we did enter into a commercial classes, but we were not able to get any contact with anyone from the faculty in those classes. And we felt frustrated. And we find that you people not only take classes, you talk to us, and you call us for mentoring as well. So whenever we have our aspirants with us, if anybody has a problem, we call them individually and talk to them and help them out from their issues. And if we have to give them an answer, a model answer. We give them a model answer. So therefore, this work is very exhausting, but it is free, and we do it very gladly. And constraints of time are not with me, and neither with Santosh. And Santosh was a topper in the Jharkhand civil service, but he has left the civil service, and we two of us do it throughout the year. We are doing something. These days, we are conducting mentoring sessions for the Forest Service officers who are going to appear for their mock interviews in the month of June.
So who are the people who have joined you? Who are the people who have joined you in your panel? Can you tell us something about them?
Yes, we have the panel is very widespread. We have three IAS officers on our panel. There's one officer from 69 batch. He was a topper of 69 batch. Then my sister Meenakshi is there with us, and my classmate Chitkala is there with me. We used to study together. She made it to the IAS, and I made it to the Customs Service. She has joined, and she's same age as I am. And then I have my friends with me from service, 2 or 3 friends from my service who have joined us. And we have a journalist with us. And we have a travel enthusiast with us. We have a taxation experts with us. And we have a forest officer who's with us. So we have a variety of people who have joined us. And also, they also donate their time willingly for us. Sometimes it is 1 hour a week or 2 hours a week. Sometimes it is much more. For example, this year, our mentoring sessions started from December 15 and are still going on. Yeah. And at least 3 to 4 people join us in mentoring those guys and giving them personal advice based on their application form which they submit to the UPSC, and if they have any other issues, like a girl who's appearing for civil services exam for the interview, told me on a Telegram channel that, sir, my international relations is weak. Can you talk to me about my international? Can you talk to me about that? I told her to come over, and we chatted for about 45 minutes, and I told her to start from World War II, the end of World War II, and the beginning of the Cold War, and then look at the foreign policy of the world and connect it to India, because India has got a foreign policy which is unique from all others, being the non-aligned movement, part of non-aligned movement. So therefore, and then she came for a full panel mock interview just 3 days ago. And my sister Meenakshi asked her, fortunately, she asked her about the Cold War and all, and her answers were more than perfect. More than perfect. I was so satisfied.
Yeah, so what I see is that, the senior citizens, once they can be put together, a group can be formed, then the technology can connect them to young people. And that's really a remarkable thing. In the old days, there was no connection between groups of old people and young people. But today, once you have mastered the technology and you have created a group, it's a fantastic thing that we can actually talk directly to young people, answer their issues, and make them get ahead. It's just remarkable as I see it. And of course, you have to be willing to do it. The senior citizens have to be willing to do it. What do you say?
Actually, this came out from, it's one of the good side effects of Quora pandemic. Because once the Quora started, all the offline classes stopped. And Zoom came as a boon to us.
Yes.
So we were able to connect with everybody. It's very unfortunate that it happened because of the pandemic and the close down of the economies and societies. But it became a boon for us. And even UPSC conducted interviews with great caution and all that, even though they called them for on-site interviews. But they were screened and they had to wear masks. And we did the same thing for the aspirants also. We told them wear masks and then talk to us so that you become comfortable talking with masks. But the Zoom thing that happened, although it's a commercial activity, but we paid for it. from our pockets and be connected with people. And we were able to connect with so many young people. And our already in 3 years, we have put about 34 people in the civil services.
So what is your
And
view
we
of the
had,
young people that you meet? How would you say, what do you say are their main features or characteristics, if we can get that?
once they clear the mains, then their focus is very clear that they have to become a civil servant. Till the mains they are not clear, those aspirants are just trying their luck, because I civil services exam is the most democratic exam. Get a third class BA and write the exam. No qualifications required other than a BA and 21 years of age. So 10 lakh people fill up the forms and 5 lakh actually write the exam. But unfortunately, after the prelims, only 20,000 are left for the next two processes. So therefore, the seriousness of the students comes only once they have cleared the prelims and are there for the mains. Then they say, sir, if we have cleared the prelims out of 10 lakhs, so therefore we have to make it this time. And they try their hardest to do so. But they are coming from very poor backgrounds also. Many of them came from Bihar with practically not even a connection, in the net connection. They went to a kiosk and took our training and all. So therefore, they are very aspirational. They are very clear-headed. But unfortunately, the education system doesn't give the kind of that is required, education that is required to meet the challenges of civil services exam. And civil services exam is very vast, and it's very, you can say it's very chaotic, because you can be asked questions from anywhere on the world.
Yeah.
So therefore, the general study papers are very difficult to master.
Okay. All right. Anything else that you want to talk about?
No, I'm so happy as a retired person. Many people tell me that, sir, we don't consider you as retired. We don't consider you as old. And we are so happy to be with you. And you talk the same language as we do. But to all aspiring civil servants, I would say, if you want to be a civil servant, and once you decide to be a civil servant, then stay focused. That's all. That is all that is required. Stay focused and cut out all your social media completely and stay focused, feel happy, and feel confident. That's the message I want to give out to those who are now aspiring to be civil servants.
Okay, that's great. I'm so happy that, senior citizens are working to help younger people in India who have been left in the lurch by the education system. And that's a separate story, which we don't want to get into, the education system. But everywhere I turn, I see people helping young people because the education system doesn't do its job. So we can leave that aside. I'm so happy to have had this discussion with you. And maybe we'll come back to you on some other forum. But for the moment, let's say bye to our viewers. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone, and bye.
Bye.